All right. Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. I think I got everything right so far. I think I got everything right. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you. I'm with you probably till about 5 o'clock. Probably till about 5 o'clock. Not much longer than 5 o'clock. Let's see. Apparently, a lot of stuff went on today that I missed because, I'm blocked. Because I'm blocked from the Lincoln Ware show. And so apparently I missed a whole conversation. And of course, I was checking out Wyatt and hearing his take on the conversation. And, interesting take. Of course, I don't have a take on the conversation because I missed the conversation. And I saw a few clips here and there that Wyatt played on his show. So, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't say we should stop talking about Mika Owens and the conversation that she had and all that. I mean, the choice that she made and all that kind of stuff, because I don't think we should stop talking about it. I think it's very important to talk about it. And I know there were people who were like, oh, she made her decision and that's the end of it and ain't nothing you can do about it, so let's just move on. But I don't agree with that. Now, with that being said, I probably won't be doing much talking about it because I think I said what I said, and I'm pretty sure I still mean what I said. She made a decision. Apparently, some people are saying, oh, she did not know the history. Whatever way it is, she made her decision, and it is kind of what it is. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I think, historically speaking, it was a horrible decision. I think politically speaking, for black people, at least in Cincinnati, it was a bad decision. I think maybe for her, it'll turn out to be a good decision politically because we don't know what happened behind the scenes to make her make that decision. So I don't know. Might get a little bit into it, but just a little bit. Because again, I don't have any new information. And I didn't hear the conversation on the Lincoln Ware show. But y'all know how we start this show off. I say hello to people. People say hello to me. And then, I move on and talk about whatever it is that I wanted to talk about. I do want to let y'all know that I did end up going to Blink over the weekend. And I have some thoughts. I'll share those thoughts. But I'm going to try to share them in a way that's, I'll share them. But let me say hello. There's only a few people who have said hello, so this one's going to be quick. Erica, representing Reading. Erica says, it's my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Erica. Happy birthday. What, you like 26? No, I don't know how old you are. I'm just being silly. But happy birthday to you. I hope you enjoy your birthday. Dwayne Larkin, representing Mount Airy. Good afternoon. Got Crystal Hoskins, representing the Christ Hospital. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking out the show. I appreciate you. Vincent Jones, representing Blue Ash. What's good, Vincent Jones? Thank you for checking out the show. Regina Denson Griffin. Good afternoon, representing Madisonville. Good afternoon. Thanks for checking out the show. Nat Turner, representing Madisonville as well. Y'all could do a watch party. Just a thought. Thanks for checking out the show. I appreciate you. Sea Breeze, representing Boston, says, I missed the show last week. What happened? Nothing. I did wear the pink shirt, and I don't have the pink hoodie. You said you wanted to see the pink hoodie. I wore the pink hoodie. I think you have to go back and find the show with the pink hoodie. But I did wear the pink hoodie. I was thinking about you when I did it. I said, Seabreeze says she want to see the pink hoodie. Let me put on the pink hoodie for Seabreeze. And you wasn't even here. But thank you for checking out the show. Logic Slayer, good afternoon. Thank you for checking out the show as well. I appreciate you. Mike Ballard, representing Woodlawn, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me see. Champion Pryor. That's Stefan, right? Good afternoon, Stefan. Thank you for checking out the show. I appreciate you. Anthony Prosser. Anthony Prosser. Good afternoon, Anthony. Thank you for checking out the show. I appreciate you. Nate. Nate says Toledo is present and accounted for. Good afternoon, Nate. Thank you for checking out the show. And that's it so far. Those are all the people that said hello. So I've said hello to everybody who said hello to me. Again, this is Erica Hummins. Erica Hummins' birthday. I think she's like 28 or something like that. Wish her a happy birthday if you don't mind. Wish her a happy birthday. Louis Talbert, representing Sharonville. Good afternoon. Jack, representing Newport. All right. Good afternoon. A lot of folks are listening to Iris on Wyatt. Yeah, I know. I was checking her out too. But, you know, you gotta go and do what I do. And you can check out, stay there. The conversation is still going on. You can go there. You can come back. I'm going to just be talking. I'm going to be talking about what I'm talking about. He's talking about what he's talking about. Might be a little bit of overlap. But, it is what it is. Oh, phones. Hold on. Let me pull up the phones. Hold on. Ooh, I got a lot of stuff open here. Close. These are all tabs that I have to close. Close. I keep that one open. Close that one. Keep that one open. Close that one. 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 All right. There we go. Phones are open. I see I missed your call. Call back. The lines are open. 513-717-KING. That's 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. Let's see. Daryl says, what up? Iris Rowley and Wyatt, they're having a good conversation. Can't beat that. And again, check it out if you want. Go on over there, and it don't hurt my feelings if you like, I want to hear this piece of the conversation. Again, there's room. There's room for everybody. There is somebody out there that's trying to create some friction. They want me and Wyatt to be like mortal enemies. There are people who want me and Lincoln to be mortal enemies. Lincoln's kind of falling for it. But I'm not enemies with any of these people. It's not who I am. If I agree with you, I agree with you. If I disagree with you, I disagree with you. If I agree with like your overarching point, but the what do you call it? The supporting evidence that you're using is flawed, then I'm going to say what it is. That's flawed. Like the logic, that's what people be like, Daryl says, Ross, call his ass out. I'm not necessarily talking about him. He's one of them. But him and the Ben Jones guy, both of them, they always trying to create, some friction. And I think it's, maybe some people don't understand critical thinking. I can agree. We can both agree with this overarching point. But the reason you agree with it can be super flawed. And I can point out the flaws in your argument. Even though you agree with that point, you don't agree with this. But this is flawed. The reason you should get here is because of this. Like, y'all know, it's a whole conversation going on now. I heard Byron Donalds on. Of course, former President Donald Trump. And these all people are now running around. A new piece of this whole conversation around the presidency is around policing. And they won't talk about black people. They won't say that. But there's a piece a number of people, me included, have been saying that, hey, we need to do something about qualified immunity. Now, I'm not one who says it just needs to disappear. Because there are times when law enforcement or, other people are doing the best that they can. And, I'm saying, you do a little something and it doesn't turn out the way you want it to turn out. And your life, your home, your car, all of that shouldn't be thrown away, in jeopardy. It shouldn't be in jeopardy. There are times, but there are other times when police specifically do things to people that if they don't know, they definitely should know. They definitely should know that they're violating people's rights. And if you're just some basic principles and you're violating people's rights, you should be held liable personally. You don't get to hide under, the blue cover, that blue cloak of invisibility. You don't get to do that. No, I get to sue you personally. But there's this whole conversation about that going on and people wanting to, strengthen qualified immunity and things of that nature. I don't agree with that. But I could see somebody taking a particular strand of that to talk about, like you take something that's clear where law enforcement shouldn't be held personally responsible. And then you use that to say we should get rid of qualified immunity. They don't always go together. So sometimes you got to pick apart a little piece of an argument. And again, I saw where Jack said he'll be glad when this critical thinker fad plays out in Cincinnati radio / who will be glad when people stop being critical thinkers? Think about that. Think about what you just said, Jack. I'll be glad when people stop really thinking about stuff. I want people to just emotionally burst out and say whatever, and it don't have to make sense. Come on. Come on. I mean, it's a lot of people like that. There are a lot of people who don't want people to think. They just want people to react. I'm not one of those people. I'm not for that. I'm not for that at all. Robert Willis has shown up. Good afternoon, Robert. I see Daryl. Daryl has shown up. Daryl says, qualified immunity kept my family from suing the police officers who murdered my brother. F qualified immunity. Yeah. Yeah. Nat says, I was thinking the same thing. Who loves people being stupid? There's a group of people. This is just what I think happens. This is what I think happens. I can't say this with 100% certainty, all right? But this is what I think happens. I used to say this all the time. Nuance is hard. Nuance is hard. And, people want everything to be black and white. But there is gray area. And I'm trying to not say what I want to say because I don't want to insult nobody. But I think the people who don't like critical thinking, they don't like it because they kind of can't follow. Mentally, I don't think that they can follow. So what they hear is, I said so-and-so and so-and-so, and this was my point. Okay. But then I'll use this to back it up. And, you picking out the thing that's not the conversation I was trying to have. But that's the supporting evidence that you're using to back up your point. And, if you think about it, again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't play a lawyer. None of that kind of stuff. But ain't that something that lawyers do? You attack each piece of evidence. Each piece of evidence. It'd be like saying he murdered him. His fingerprints are on the gun. It's like, no, those aren't his fingerprints. Why are we arguing about fingerprints now? My conversation wasn't about fingerprints. You want to talk about fingerprints. Hold on. You said those are his fingerprints on the gun. If those aren't his fingerprints on the gun, then that chips away at your, getting to your conclusion. But now you want to talk about fingerprints. See, now the conversation is about fingerprints. It ain't about who killed the guy. Now we talking about fingerprints. It becomes important. Each piece of the evidence becomes important. And if I can say, how you know that's the gun? Oh, now we talking about guns now. Now we talking about guns. Now we talking about how you know what gun did what. Because it's a piece of the evidence that leads to the conclusion that you want us to get to. But I don't know what happens when you have conversations and people can't follow simple trains of logic. And they really think you're on a different conversation because you're talking about a piece of the conversation that they brought up. I don't understand y'all. I don't understand y'all. And Jack says, keep thinking. It changes nothing. You understand less of government than you critically think about. So a critical thinker equals intelligent, and you're stupid if you don't. Critically think about that. In my mind, you got to be trolling now. You have to be trolling. And for people who trolling means, I understand that I don't really have a point. I'm not even trying to make a point. I'm just saying stuff. So that's got to be what you're doing. It's got to be what you're doing. You can't be doing nothing else. You can't be. You can't be. That's what you get for thinking. Oh. Nat says, this society is cooked. If we had critical thinkers, each American would have a much higher standard of living. Trump preys on the uneducated. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. But you do have people out there who's like Jack is pretending to be. Because I gotta believe that he's just pretending. He couldn't really think this way. But there are people out there. I watch, a lot of conservative stuff, and I watch a lot of liberal stuff. One of the things that I love watching is the good liars out there when they're interviewing people at Trump rallies. That is like, you want to talk about a lack of critical thinking? Hold on, it says, okay, I'm back. Oh, the phone's open. The phone's been open. You want to talk about a lack of critical thinking? They just ask them. They get like 3 questions deep, and the people are like, it goes against what I heard, or what I feel, or what I believe, even though it's logical and it's reasonable, but it don't align with what I think and feel and believe. And I thought I saw the line ringing again. It don't align with what I think and feel and believe, so I'm going to totally reject it. Their ability to think things through. It's crazy. Jack says, you in a religion you didn't critical thinking about. How you figure that? Maybe it's true. Tell me how you figure that. What have I said to make you believe that? What have I said to make you believe that? Why is America so mad at Trump? What did he do? He advocated sexual assault, and he committed sexual assault. He committed other crimes, financial crimes. He lies about everything. He's just a horrible human being. Uh, he encouraged people to attempt to overthrow the government. It's a lot of reasons why people are mad at Trump. He did a lot of things. He did a lot of things. But you know, those are just for starters, and that was just off the top of my head. I can't even think. There's so much more, so many other reasons why people are mad at Trump that I can't even really, call them. But there's a lot of reasons. Ron says, so I'm guessing. So I'm guessing you didn't hear that 15-minute Kamala interview on Politics Nation with our dumb A. Okay, no, I didn't see Kamala's interview on Politics Nation. And I didn't call you dumb. That I don't like you even referring to yourself in that way. I don't like that. Jack says, I don't think a critical thinker would believe in the Bible. But you're not a critical thinker, so you don't really know what a critical thinker would think. You have to start thinking critically. Oh, he's confused as hell now. He's probably mad. Let's see. Valerie says, America is built on crime. Help me understand the point of you saying that. What's the point of you saying that? Al, representing Middletown, good afternoon. Janice says, because Trump is disrespecting all of the American people. I believe a large portion of our society are used to being abused. Yeah. Yes. Ron says, I was calling Heard dumb. I think you're saying you were calling Kamala dumb. Okay. What did she say? I like to ask questions. What did she say that, in your opinion, makes her dumb? Not that you disagree with, but that makes her dumb. And how are you defining dumb? How are you defining dumb? Are you defining dumb as just somebody that you disagree with? Someone who has a different view on things? Because that's not what I think when I think dumb. Like, just because somebody is supporting Donald Trump, that in and of itself, I don't think makes them dumb. So, I mean, Seabree says, if Harris is dumb, what does that make Trump? I don't. Ron says, I'm defining dumb as in the dumb as y'all say Trump does. That doesn't make sense to me. Please help me make that make sense. I don't understand what you're saying. Nat says, how is a woman who graduated from Howard Law School, passed the bar, and became Attorney General, U.S. Senator, and VP dumb? Well, you could still be educated and dumb. But I guess maybe, because it all depends. For some people, the definition of dumb is uneducated. Has America ever attacked a white man like they did Trump ever? Huh? I'm not even sure what you're I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Mary says, not having common sense, dumb. There's an old saying that common sense ain't common. So what one would consider common sense, someone else doesn't. So I can't. Can we settle on a definition for dumb? How about that? So if we're labeling people dumb, I'd like to know what we're saying about them. I would like to know, what is it that we're saying about them? But hold on, before we get into all of that, y'all done kind of, just the comments done walked me down, as they say, a rabbit hole. I went to Blink this weekend. Me and Mrs. Livingston, we parked and ride. We did the park and ride, and got on the bus, went down to Blink, got out, start walking around, and let me say this about Blink. Blink is okay. It was okay. It was pretty much what I thought it was gonna be. Them projecting pictures on buildings and, little stuff like that. Sound and music. It was all right. I think, in all honesty, Blink is better in pictures than it is in person. It's better in pictures than it is in person. Like Mrs. Livingston was down there, she had her little phone up, and she was, they was lighting up one of the buildings. And she was, taking the picture of it. And so she was looking at the picture, framing everything, and then she looked at the picture and looked at the building, looked at the picture and looked at the building. And she said, it looked much better through my camera than it do in person. And that's true. That's true. So the best way, in my opinion, the best way to experience Blink, have somebody record it for you. Because it looks much better. Now, I'll tell you what, here's what I think, and this is why I was underwhelmed. I worked for Charlie Winburn at Charlie Winburn's church. And in Charlie Winburn's church, in the big auditorium, he had what they called an environmental system. And basically what it is you got projectors that projects a picture on the wall. But you know how a projector is. It's just a projector. It's going to give you a square or whatever. But there's a way, the program he used was called ProPresenter. There's a program, and you can mask out the shape of the wall. And you can cut out little holes, like if there's a window there, if there's a grate there or something like that you don't want there. And you do that, and nothing projects in that spot. So then, you can put whatever you want to there, and it'll be that exact same shape. And then, you can put different things in you can segment it however you want it. That's what they did. That's it. So when I was watching, I was like, all they got is like ProPresenter projecting it on buildings. I mean, it looked cool, especially if you record it, even though, I always get mad when people record this way, record this way, record that way, record this way. But looking through a camera, it looks good. The lights, nice and vibrant and showing everything. Yeah, it's cool. Other than that, it was all right. It was a lot of people down there, though. It was a lot of people. And if you like being in a nice, crowded environment, there's a lot of energy, all of that kind of stuff, then cool. It was probably for you. I didn't mean to do a thumbs up, but I didn't hold it up long enough. Hold on, hold on a second. Sorry about this. Camera. But to me, it was okay. It was okay. I wouldn't go back necessarily to it unless I just wanted to be in the crowd. Unless I just wanted to be, in the crowd and experience the excitement of the crowd as they experience the things that they're experiencing. But, it was okay. It was okay. We were there I think we got there at 8. And then at around 9:30, we hit the Black Music Walk of Fame. We saw the drone show. We were down at the Underground Railroad. We went to Fountain Square, saw the big lighted box. We went up, hit the Aronoff. We went, of course, saw the buildings I think we went up to like 9th Street. And then she turned and looked at me and said, "Okay, I've seen enough. I'm ready to go." It's like, we got to go up to Music Hall. They got to be. She was like, "I've seen enough. I'm ready to go." So we turned around and went back and got back on, went back and came home. She wanted to go. I kind of had an idea what it was going to be. But I mean, look, if you like, if you're into like artsy stuff, it might be for you. It might be for you. It wasn't for me. Like I said, I've done that before, in a church setting. Projected stuff on the wall. But I'm not going to knock it for y'all, good for y'all. And, people were literally carrying their dogs. I know that don't sound all that crazy, but I'm not talking about little dogs. I'm talking about like big German shepherds. Like people was carrying their dogs around. I have to say, all of the people I saw doing that were white people, but people were literally carrying big ass dogs around, just walking around like you tired as heck, carrying your dog to look at projections on buildings. It's like, what is wrong with people? People were, the smell of weed was a lot of different places. So it was, a lot of that. People don't know how to move in crowds. Like if you in a big crowd of people, and I mean it was crowded, y'all. If you in a big crowd of people, and everybody walking, you don't just stop and start having a conversation with your group. Because now you blocking a whole bunch of people. Get off to the side. If you're going to have a conversation, excuse me, let me get over here. And then boom, now let's decide our next move. Crowd is moving. And if you tried to drive through downtown, it was over for you. I'm telling you, it was over for you. Because they had certain streets blocked off, but with certain streets that traffic was still open to, people were not respecting traffic signals, not the cars, the people. And I mean, when I tell you that it was crowded, it was crowded. And so the light would be green for the people to drive. And it would just be, people just kept walking. And some of those intersections, they didn't have like police to tell the people to stop and let the cars go through. So the car would go through 5, 6, 7 cycles, and cars trying to get through, and they blowing, trying to go, but the people just won't stop. Oh my goodness. You do not, if it come up again and you trying to get out, do not drive through downtown. At one point, Mrs. Livingston, before we went, she was like, do you want to drive down? Because ain't it something you can drive through? I said, no. I had never been, but I said, when they talked about the number of people who were going to be there, no, that's nothing I want to drive through. Nothing. So it was okay. It was okay. I mean, if you like that kind of stuff, it was okay. But for me, But yeah, when I saw them people, I'm telling you, I saw probably about 4 people. I know in the probably hundreds of thousands of people that were down there. To see 4 people carrying big ass dogs is not a lot of people. But just my sample size, I didn't see, like, I wasn't in a group of hundreds of thousands of people. So just the sample size of the group that I was around, that was a lot of people. Literally carrying big ass dogs. Like I said, not little tiny, little pocket dogs or whatever they call them. I'm talking about a big German Shepherd, like a grown German Shepherd, and you trying to carry it through the crowd. And the dog barking. Yeah. Carolyn say the children that she saw were well behaved. I didn't see any problems with any children. I heard a lot of unnecessary cussing from younger people. But you kind of got to figure you're going to hear that. Like I said, I smelled a lot of weed. There were a lot of drunk people. People just walking around drinking. Thought that wasn't legal, but apparently sometimes it is. But man, it was crowded. But that's my my Blink experience. I would go back if Mrs. Livingston said I want to go back. Other than that, I'm good. Did I see any of Ron's immigrants? I don't know. Probably. There was one dude down there. I was just so entertained by him. Mrs. Livingston was like, can we put some money in his bucket? Because he was sitting there. Where was he? I think he was like across the street from the Aronoff. What's that one of Jeff Ruby's little restaurants or whatever? And he was just down from there. And like he had brought like a pail with a top. He had something. And he was just hitting it. He wasn't playing no beat or nothing. He was just sitting in a chair with his pail and just hitting it. Just doom, 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 doom. And I'm like, what is he doing? Like, play a beat or something. You know what I'm saying? Do something. He just had a pail and he was just hitting the pail. And that was his talent. And I bet people were putting tips in the jar. I'm like, he not even playing no music. It really was like, just a small garbage lid. Small metal lid. And he had a little mallet. And he was just hitting it. And I was like, and she was like, we should put something in there. I was like, why? Why? He's not doing anything. He is sitting in a chair on the street hitting a garbage can lid. He ain't got no beat with it. No, nothing. It just I was like, hold on, let me see if he's actually playing some sort of a beat or something. Hold on, stop. Listen. He just hitting the garbage can lid. That's it. I'm not giving him no money for hitting a garbage can lid. But he was making money. People was tipping him. I was like, what in the world? Like when we went to Vegas, we were on Fremont Street, which is a really nice light deal. And they have these little circles where I guess people pay to, stand there and do their talent, and they put their little bucket out there. I think they have to stay in their little circle. But they come out and they do their talent. You might see a Michael Jackson impersonator. You might see somebody doing magic. But they all over the place on Fremont Street. But they all have some sort of a talent that they're doing. Like, I couldn't see this dude on Fremont Street just hitting a garbage can lid. That was it. That was his whole skill. But, hey, it is what it is. Carolyn, okay, I'm going to let the man be great. I'm going to let him be great. But yeah, no, I was underwhelmed, but I did enjoy the energy of the crowd. She thought about getting something to eat down there, but then she said, nope, it's too crowded. She said, you're not really going to get good service anywhere. Let's just go somewhere else. So that's what we did. Got back in park and ride. Got back to the car, went and got something to eat. All right, y'all. What is going on? There was something that I wanted to talk about. Y'all done talk to me. Let me talk myself out of whatever it is that I wanted to talk about. 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. Y'all, we coming down to the wire in this election. We're coming down to the wire. And I'm telling y'all, I'm nervous. I am nervous. Those were definitely God-given talents, Tanika. That was definitely his God-given talents. Hold on, let me see. I'm sorry, I'm looking for something. I don't have anything down here to do what I wanted to do. But those are definitely his God-given talents. Daryl says, we rode the connector. My kids liked riding that. They said it was like riding the subway. Bless their heart. You at the age where you have to write yourself down. Yeah, I am. But again, I get off work. I come straight here. Of course, it's Monday. I had to hook everything up and get all of everything together as well. And I got home before 3:30. So I think that's doing good. They all selected Harris for president, cheated Trump again. All right, now you are what they call trolling as well. I'm gonna say I think the overwhelming majority of people who watch this thing supports Kamala Harris, right? I have a question, and this is a quick question to answer because I have a little bit of a theory. I think a lot of us, because I'm on this page, a lot of us are really like, I don't really care in terms of, I don't have to support Kamala Harris. I'm voting against Trump. I'm voting against Trump for someone who has a shot at winning. But is there anybody who's watching who's like, no, I'm specifically voting for Kamala Harris because I think she's the great candidate for the position? Is there anybody who's watching who's like, Kamala Harris, I don't care who you put Kamala Harris up against, I would be voting for Kamala Harris because I think she's the person we need for America right now? Or is it, like I said, like me? I'm like, she might be, and a part of it is my fault. I listened to her here, and I don't want to say this because it's gonna sound like I'm taking a shot at her, but I'm not. Maybe I can say it like this. When I listen to my voice, I hate my voice. Like, people be like, do you listen to your shows back? And I'd be like, no, I don't listen to my shows back because I don't. But the truth of the matter is, I just don't like my voice. Her voice annoys me. Her voice annoys me. Sometimes it feel like she trying too hard to, be something, and she trying too hard to, like even when she was being interviewed by what's his name, Brett Beer, whatever, the Fox dude, and she was, kind of being assertive. It was like manufactured assertiveness. It didn't feel like this is my real assertive energy. Now, again, that's perception. That's my perception. It may not be the case. That just might be the way she sounds. And Her voice is just annoying to me. My voice is annoying to me. So I'm not taking a shot at her. That doesn't qualify you or disqualify you. So I'm saying that to say, maybe I haven't paid close enough attention to really be able, because I'm certain, because somebody is saying she's qualified. I'm not saying she's not qualified. First, what do you have to do to be qualified? You have to get elected. Those are the qualifications. I mean, you got age qualifications and you have to be born here, those type of qualifications. But other than that, most of us are qualified to be the president. Most of us are qualified. But in terms of her policies and whatnot, some of it I've heard, and I lean more towards her policies, of course, than the Trump's policies. But again, you put her against a different candidate, and then I would be looking at the policies, and I would be like, okay, I agree with her. Oh, she on point on that. Oh, she this. Oh, she this and that. But this is one of those elections where, and Jack, to your point, where I don't even have to be a critical thinker. I just know that Trump is horrible. Trump is horrible. So I didn't even have to lean heavily into, do I agree with her policies over this person's policies, or do I agree with, this stance over that stance? Is she gonna be better for America? Is the economy gonna be better under her, and all of that kind of stuff? I didn't even have to go through all of that because of who she's running against. And I know that he's an atrocious human being. Policy-wise, atrocious. You can't believe nothing that he say. He might actually be in bed with the enemy if you believe, the stuff that comes out, which I tend to believe. So and I'm just asking, are you one of those people like me where, and it's a deficiency of mine, I would say, because I really should be paying much closer attention policy-wise, but I don't even have to. That's scary, ain't it? That's scary. I don't have to pay attention policy-wise because of who she's running against. Bad king. Nate!
Emanuel Livingston, how are you?
Nate Livingston, I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Now, I'm driving and using headphones. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but that is doing that thing again.
Oh, man. Well, if it gets too bad, I'm near a rest stop, so I'll pull over and hang up and call you back.
What kind of wait. What kind of headphones are you using?
I don't know. They top of the, everything you ask me about, I always say is top of the line. I got some top of the line. I got some top of the line Sony headphones. They're supposed to have like noise reduction. They change. The microphone changes when you're driving versus when you're walking or sitting still. I don't know the brand, but believe me, they're top of the line.
They are. You need to get in some middle of the line because they don't sound great.
Well, let me start, and you tell me if it's terrible enough. Like I say, I'm about a mile away from the.
Call me when you get up. When you get it is bad. It's bad.
Oh, okay. I will.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Oh, I hate that it sounds like that. I was gonna tell him to get some AirPods, but I don't know how they sound either. Given that. But yeah, that was all bad. Twin.
What's up, little man?
How you doing, twins?
I can't call it, man. Well, what you was saying about the drama The people jumping on the garbage can.
Huh?
When you said, I thought you said somebody was jumping on the garbage can or beating on the garbage can or something.
Yeah, it was a man. It was a man down at Blink, and he was sitting in a chair, and he had like a garbage can lid and a mallet, and he was just hitting the garbage can lid, and he had a tip bucket out there, and people was tipping him. He wasn't even playing no beat. He was just hitting it.
Oh. Usually catching the bucket boys down there.
Yeah, I think. Well, there was some drummers down by the Underground Railroad Museum, and then I think I heard the Bucket Boys up a little ways. So. But this guy he was not that. He was just a garbage can lid man, and he was just hitting the garbage can lid. Just no rhythm, no beat, no nothing.
You know how they do that in Vegas. They try to put on a show, and I'm like, they fake like they go flip over and everything, and they don't do it and everything. When I went on the strip and people was tipping them 10, 15, whatever, dollars, and I gave them $1,000. I'm thinking they go do the whole flip, but they did. Like, man, waste some money. I spent 20 minutes studying y'all doing these break dancers about the exercise, get loose and all that. I'm like, man, come flip. So I was like, man, to each his own. Everybody hustle. Yeah, man. You know her voice annoying, man. She tried to fit in so bad. So you should have grew up around some black folk and everything. You would have got along. But she tried so. I'll sit back and watch. It's getting bored to me, though, man. I'm tired of hearing cats and dogs. He grab them back, you know what, and he's this and she's that ugly, and I look better than her, man. Trying to hear all that, man. I'll be glad, man, it's a mess over with, man. Every day you got to wake up to this or P. Diddy or something happened. A dog ran across the river and grabbed a squirrel or some type issue going on. I'll be glad with November 5th so people can get back to their life.
And it ain't going to be over. Yeah. It's not going to be over November 5th. Oh, well, only way it's going to be over is if Trump wins. Then it'll be over. If Trump loses, this thing is going to go for another 4 years. He gonna claim it was rigged and it was stolen. Some more people gonna go try and overthrow the government. It's gonna be crazy.
I think if she got like a 20, 30 point lead on him, he gonna declare she won.
It won't. No, it ain't gonna matter. No matter what the lead is, if he loses, he gonna say he didn't lose.
I think something gonna happen though. So if she win that, I hate to say it, but if she win that election. Something gonna happen. It's gonna be out November 5th.
Well, something gonna happen either way.
I mean, I'm talking about if he lose though.
No, but something gonna happen if he win, and something gonna happen if he lose. Something happen every day.
Hey, come on, man, quit being extra, man. This is gonna be another January 6th problem. If he lose that election, I think. That's my opinion.
Well, I already said that. I said they're going to try to overthrow the government again.
No, you said something about some days. Things happen every day.
No, because you just said something going to happen. Like, that's as non-specific as you can be.
No, I think it's going to be another January 6th, man.
Okay, I already said that. Don't try to take my predictions.
No, you did say it. You talking about everything...
Everything
happen every day.
No, I said earlier that they're going to try to overthrow the government, bro.
We was cool and everything. You always try to get people roused up. Why you do this?
Not.
Why me and Ron cuss you out, man?
I said, you're not saying anything new. What you're saying, how many other people have said that? You're not saying anything new. Everybody think they saying something new. You're not saying anything new.
I'm just saying, man, it's gonna happen if he loses.
Something gonna happen.
It'll be another January 6th, I believe. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
You said I just said it. I just said, come on, man, you ain't gotta be extra like that.
Okay, all right.
You wonder why people don't cut you out, man, because stuff like that.
Like what?
No, like, you know it's funny and stuff.
You didn't say nothing.
No, you know I'm telling the truth. When you wonder why we come at you, cut you out.
What truth?
Trying to be extra.
Okay.
What else new to talk about? You blocked or whatever like usual. Blocked on everybody's platform, so you can't listen to what happened on Lincoln's show.
Yeah, I didn't hear what happened on Lincoln's show.
You don't go back. You can't go on repeat or not? They got you blocked off there too?
Yeah, I'm blocked, bro.
What happened to your 50-year-old imaginary Roscoe invisible page you got?
Oh, no, I told you. Mrs. Livingston said if they don't want you to watch, just don't watch. Don't go through the whole creating pages and all that kind of stuff. Just don't watch. So I just don't watch.
Well, Dave Stinger, can you use this page?
Why would he give me his password and stuff to use his page?
Because
Well, here, do this for me. Give me your email and password to your Facebook page, and I'll use your page.
No, I got Netflix and everything on mine now.
Well, I don't know about all of the naked stuff, but that's the same reason Dave Stinger won't give me his information, because it's his personal page.
Where's Dave Stinger right now?
I don't know where he at right now. I don't keep tabs on that brother like that.
Is he in the chat or whatever, or on Facebook?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Because I'm talking to him, that's why.
I don't see him you talking to him. I don't see him post in the chat, so.
Because they blocked Dave Stinger, right? Just like they blocked Emanuel. It's all in one.
No, I'm saying on this chat. I don't see him post in the chat on my show. I don't know if he's blocked on the Buzz's page. I never asked him.
I wonder where I can find Dave Stinger. Can you find him on Facebook?
I don't know. Look him up. You asking me about another man? I don't know what that man doing.
Just give yourself up, man. Quit pump faking. You are Dave Stinger.
Oh,
now
my
stop.
God. I don't know what that man doing.
What else are you talking about on here, man?
I mean, I was talking a little bit because, of course, I watched Wyatt's show, so I heard what Wyatt was saying a little bit about Mika.
He knew you weren't going to talk about this because he knew you was blocked and everything off Link. Where I said, no, he probably won't talk about this. He's good for talking about wrestling, though. He good for that. I think
You like
about
it.
wrestling. He got a good combo around.
You like it. You like it.
No,
You like
I laughed because it shocked me when I first heard it. I'm like, am I repeat? What is this? I thought somebody, hearing an extra person on my phone. I'm like, is they really talking about rap? Grown man talking about rap. And
Grown men talk about movies, right?
Man, you talking about some wrestling,
Hold
man.
on. Hold on. Do grown men talk about movies?
I don't know, man.
Stop it. You know that there are people who put out and have conversations about the latest movies that's out. They give their reviews of the movies. Did they like the movie? Was it shot well? And so on and so forth. You know that happens, right?
Yeah, I know that.
All right. And they talk about TV shows?
Ain't nobody grown man like me go sit up there. Hey, did you see Hulk Hogan with them pipes? You see him when he grabbed?
Bro, will you just answer my questions? Will you just answer?
I'm not answering no crazy question.
That's not a crazy question. Do people talk about TV shows?
You know they do. So what?
All right.
I'd rather talk about a TV show than talk about some wrestling, man.
I
look like going around my gas. Hey, folks, you seen Hulk Hogan? He put the smackdown on this. What, twin? What? Man, they'll cuss me out. Guys up here, it's like, man, what you on, Joe?
It's the twin. It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes.
I'm going to sit up there with no grown man just talking about no wrestling. Stop it, man.
But you'll talk about some sports club.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, but you
ain't nothing wrong with talking about wrestling.
Man, I guess, man, to each his own.
All right.
What you think? Hey, one more thing, man, before I go. I know you'll cuss me out.
I don't cuss.
I hang up.
I don't cuss.
I'll make you cuss. It's not for you. No, just play. Hey, man, what you think about, I know you're going to say something, them glorifying Big Me. I forgot to bring it up to Wyatt.
Well, first, I'm not surprised. He did pose as a gorilla on the cover of a magazine. So, you know what I'm saying? His judgment ain't 100% there. But, man, people glorify all kind of stuff. Like, standards-wise, our standards as the world, country, community, for the most part, our standards are shot, man. So it shouldn't be a shock to anyone that people would glorify a drug dealer, a gangbanger, a murderer, a pimp. None of that stuff should be a shock that people glorify that stuff. It's the world that we live in now.
Right, I agree too. The world we live in today, with these new news, really don't know, what we did back in the day and everything. So they just, syndicate off the glamour that's going on right now and everything. People that really don't know what Big Meat. The only thing they heard is a couple of verses in a song and everything. So people really don't know the history of it and everything. So to each his own, man.
What do you think about it? What do you think about a LeBron James or some people glorifying this stuff?
I don't think, to me, to be honest, I don't think nothing wrong with it. Because it's just like a relative, man. He been gone 30, 40 years, and I know that person and everything. And he took care of home. He wasn't no bad person, regardless of how he made his money or whatever he did. I still, got to give honor to the man.
Hold on. I'd have to ask this question. In your mind, what makes a person a bad person? Because killing people don't make you a bad person, right?
No. No, it don't make you.
Selling drugs to people and, that don't make you a bad person, right?
No.
Being in a gang, that definitely don't make you a bad person.
I mean, in my eyes, if you do bad things, then you know the consequences and everything behind.
So doing bad things don't make you a bad person. So in your mind, what makes one a bad person?
What makes a bad person?
Yes.
I guess if you're doing bad things, it makes a bad person.
But we just now decided that doing bad things don't make you a bad person.
I think they flip the script back, nigga.
Oh.
Yeah. It does.
Okay. So then you would say that a drug dealer is a bad person.
Yeah.
Okay. Gangbanger, bad person.
No. As a bad person, you guard your turf or whatever. They ain't no bad person. You just engage in gang activity.
So gang activity is good.
It depends on the outcome. Is it positive or negative?
Okay. So somebody who killed somebody, bad person, right?
No, if it's a reason behind it.
So I'm still confused then what makes one a bad person.
A bad person, say if I go out and maybe come strangle you for no reason, that's a bad person. Somebody just bully on somebody crazy or do something crazy.
What if they strangle you because somebody paid them to strangle you? Then is that okay?
No, that's
okay. So doing bad things for money makes you a bad person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better now?
Well, sort of. I don't think you're going to be consistent, but I have an idea.
You good? Oh, my bad. What'd you say?
Who, me?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just said I don't think you're going to be consistent in what makes a bad person. So, I was just curious.
You know I ain't going to never confess to nothing like that.
I didn't say confess.
Or sing to anything.
Okay.
All right, man. I'm going to keep listening, I think.
All right.
Stuff to do. I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you. Okay. And that's the problem. Or that's one of the problems. There is no, people want to make excuses for them and their people. So if I do it, because nobody thinks of themselves as the bad guy. Very rarely are you the bad guy in your own story. No matter what you did. Very rarely are you I'm not saying never, but very rarely like when my friends come and talk to me about stuff, it is rare. It happens every once in a while, but it is rare for a male friend of mine to come and be like, you know what? Man, I'm foul. I did her wrong. I cheated on her. and I'm a bad person. It's rare. Again, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. It's usually, you know what? She did this, she did this, she did this. And so in response, I cheated on her. She the bad person. I just reacted to how bad she is. Very rarely are you the bad guy in your own story. And yes, like a lot of y'all have pointed out, it's moral relativism. So if everything is excusable, then nothing's wrong. And if nothing's wrong, we end up in this society. Brent.
Hey, what's going on, E-Man?
How you doing?
I'm all right. Hey, first and foremost, thank you for sending the hoodie. I did get it. I think I posted a picture of it online.
Yes, sir.
Now, I really think that Key was wrong with saying that her shirt had, cookie crumbs on it. I can say that mine did not have a single crumb. It was immaculately packaged, but I did detect a slight smell of ginger snap. So, but it's all good. No stains on the shirt, so I'm happy with it. Excellent quality. Look forward to wearing it. But it is currently 82 degrees, and so it's probably going to be a little while before I'm able to wear it.
All right.
Hey, the Bluetooth issue, because you said a couple of times that I've called in, it's been that same thing to where I guess at the higher end of the range it starts staticking out.
Yeah.
The both times I've called you, I've been using the vehicle's Bluetooth, and the only thing that I could think that might be at issue is that you can adjust the receive volume and the call volume. So maybe I had it too high, so that may have been causing the level. So the next time I do call you from the car, I'll see if, we'll do an experiment.
All right.
So this is an experiment to see if that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah. And get well soon, Ron. I know he's recovering from those surgeries and from, his extracurricular activities. So, hey, never want to see a black man down and out. Especially after that 7-year drought. So get well, Ron.
Yeah.
Get well. But yeah, the definition of dumb. You were asking about what is, can we settle on a definition of dumb?
Okay.
So I would define it as once being faced with irrefutable evidence from multiple sources that you then decide to believe some alternative fact or whatever you believe or whatever your Lord and Savior believes. If you do that, you are dumb. Because you literally had that man tell you to inject yourself with bleach. And you said, well, did nobody say it was wrong? Or it's just ridiculous with how people will believe what they want to believe just because they want to believe it, because they don't have a counter argument. So they'll either say, well, I believe what I believe, or they'll cuss you out like a few of your callers like to do.
Okay, yeah. How about this? Because I don't know that I like that. How about I'm trying to work it out. The inability to understand or accept reason and logic.
Even when it disagrees with someone you love, admire, or worship, says the contrary.
Yes.
Because a lot of people's positions are based upon who they have who they revere, who they like, who they hold up on a pedestal. But my whole position is, if you're wrong, you're wrong. I don't care who you are. I don't care what title you have. If I can call out wrong when I see it. I don't. Like a lot of these folks, they have never said Trump did anything wrong. They'll always want to deflect anything. They can't even admit anything that he's done has been wrong.
Yeah.
So when you can't even admit just basic fundamental stuff, did he get convicted of 34 felonies? No, he didn't get convicted of 34 felonies. Come on now.
Or they gonna get overturned on appeal, so it don't really count. It's always something.
Yeah, it's something that's always there. yeah, we're gonna keep this a little short today. So let's jump right into the wrestling report
All right.
because I don't watch all those Chicago Med. Like they got Chicago Med, you got Chicago Fire, and you got Chicago PD, which are all heavily edited. Got cops and doctors and everything in there, making sure they come out looking in the best possible light. So, yeah. And it's scripted.
And
So
it's scripted.
You know, no different than wrestling. But yeah, I only want to talk about one thing because really that's the only thing I got a chance to see. But on SmackDown, did you happen to catch SmackDown?
Oh, I think I caught parts of it.
Okay, did you catch the segment? I don't know, I can't remember which segment it was, but it was with the Bloodline. The new Bloodline was out there. And then main event Jey Uso from Raw came over to SmackDown.
I did see that.
Did you see that segment?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So he's in there. Jacob Fatu is doing Jacob Fatu. And the line that is going to take this whole feud to a different direction and an intriguing direction, he looked right at his little brother and said, "Why did you go get Jacob? You know there's a reason why we don't mess with him.
Mm-hmm.
And if he keeps staring at me, I'm going to knock his ass out." Which was absolutely hilarious. But now it's like, okay, so what is this additional backstory that they are alluding to?
Yes.
You know, is it going to bring in maybe King Haku? You know, is he going to be introduced since, you know, his boys are the Tongaloa and Tama Tonga? I think I got the names right for one. So it's going to be interesting to see where they take the story because something has to be going on. And are they going to bring in his real life, you know, time being spent in jail?
I don't know.
Because I forgot what he got convicted of. But just by them introducing that just out of the blue, and
right?
Then just the passion he delivered it with is like, oh, because everything else I could care less about it. I don't care about what else happened. That was the one thing I was focusing on.
Yeah. Right
there. But that's all I got. Yeah, we'll keep it short today.
Yeah, they doing some good storytelling. A part of me be ready for the bloodline thing to be over, and then like you say, they introduce a little something else, and I'll be like, okay, where is this gonna go? You know, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's going to be very interesting, and still how The Rock all plays in this. I still think he's on Solo's, you know, ultimate team and everything, but yeah, how they're going to finally resolve the issues between Jimmy and Roman. Main event Jay. I always have to use his moniker to tell the two apart. How they're going to resolve that issue between the two of them. That's going to be, because they're ultimately going to have to fight it out. Might as well go ahead and fight it out. Let's get this out, get these frustrations out, but then let's come together to reunite the family instead of dividing them. So,
all right.
So I'm all there for it.
All right.
But all right. Hey, you have a good one.
You do the same.
One last thing. My son came through the door a little while ago, and he had on an "I voted" sticker. You know, I think that's one of the members of the Legion of Doom for you. I voted sticker.
I got nothing against the stickers. I just don't take them. I don't wear them. But I got nothing against them. And they always trying to make me take a sticker. You don't force me to take a damn sticker.
But he came to the door, and I was like, "Oh, you voted?" He was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, well, who did you vote for?" And before you answer, your answer may depend on where you sleep tonight. But of course, he already voted. What was done, and of course, he already voted for Kamala Harris. So I didn't have to worry about that. But he beat me voting. Today was the first day for early voting here in the state of Texas. Because they reduced it down from what I think before was a whole month to just these 2 weeks prior, because you know too many of the blacks and the others were voting and they couldn't have that. So
all right.
But that's it. That is it.
Hold on. How are you voting in that Republican that Senate race? Cruz or
Colin Allred? I'm voting for him. Yeah, Cruz is so slimy, and any man that is willing to throw his wife his children and even his own mother underneath the bus, all for political gain. Man, you ain't a real man. You just blow where the wind goes. And
does he?
When you
Does what's his name? Colin. What's his name? The guy who run against.
Yeah, Colin Allred, I think it is.
Does he have a shot?
Yes, he does have a shot. He has about the same shot that Beto O'Rourke had 6 years ago. So it's all going to depend on the turnout in not only the Dallas-Fort Worth area, San Antonio, Austin, El Paso, and this Houston. That it's going to, because Houston has already, even for like absentee ballots, the Republicans pushed through where there could only be one drop-off box per county. Well, Harris County, where Houston is in, they have over 5 million people. So you only have one drop-off box, as opposed to some of these other. There's counties out in West Texas that maybe have 100, if that. So it's all going to be dependent on what type of tactics they pull, and then also with voter apathy.
Okay.
So hopefully they won't have, to wait in long lines. Hopefully they will early vote, because here in Texas, if you early vote, here in Texas anyway, you don't have a specific precinct that you must go to in order to vote.
Oh.
Just as long as you're in that county, they can pull your information, print you out a ballot, and you're good to go. So that is one of the benefits of it.
Okay.
Because they even have like a convention center up here to where you can go and vote, and it's I think last time I voted 4 years ago, they had maybe about 50 or so voting booths. So so you do have a lot of opportunity, or at least where I am. Now, some of the other areas and everything, I don't know, but we will just see. But Colin does have a good chance of beating him, especially on the whole, the women's rights, whether they can, have an abortion here in the States and won't get, tracked down and won't get their medical records squared away, which is crazy, because I've seen commercials where the lady is like, oh, how can Colin Allred? Well, they can give children sex changes is what the first thing they talk about. And then they said, how is he thinking that he knows more than us being the parents? And then you're like, well, Ted Cruz don't want you and your doctor to make those choices for you. Because there actually been a couple of ladies who almost died because doctors were too afraid to give a medically necessary abortion due to, they were bleeding out and ectopic pregnancies. And the way they have the law set up is that anyone can sue those doctors, not just an aggrieved party, anyone. So it's the sky is red. It's a mess. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. But people have their particular issues, and some people are only voting on that one particular issue. And it's like they're not forcing anyone to get an abortion. Do I think that folks should get an abortion? No. Are they making folks get an abortion? No. If they're Christians and believe in the Bible and everything, when the Jews were in those areas were conquered by other people and they were giving their children, to sacrifice. Were they making the Jewish children be sacrificed? No. So it's oh well. Ultimately, if you do have a Judeo-Christian belief, you will meet your maker, and you'll have to account for everything that you have done and said. But
all right.
all I got.
All right. Hey, I appreciate your call.
All right,
and your support with the shirt.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah, did you get the first Cash App, and did you get the second?
Yes, I got both of them. Thank you so much.
Okay, and I'm glad you brought that up. So, who you donating to, bruh?
I still
Is
haven't.
This gonna be a Dr. Umar Johnson.
This is not going to be a Dr. Umar. By the end of I know definitely by the end of the month I'll know, but by the end of the week I should know.
Okay, because you need to do one of those, those oversized checks. Find the corpse of Jim McMahon or the ghost of Jim McMahon to give him the check and everything.
Not doing the oversized check, but I will I will present it to them and, take a picture or something so y'all see what y'all supported.
That's good. You can have a little baby give him the check. That
might not be a bad idea. Yeah.
All right. Hey, I'm here for ideas.
All right. Hey, Brent, I appreciate your call.
Take it easy.
All right. Missed a couple calls. Nate, Blade. You guys can call back in 513-717-KING, 513-717-5464. That is the number to get on board. Blade.
What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Pretty good. Hey, I know Brent, he's an intelligent young guy, but when he started talking about the Bible, he just sounds so damn ignorant. I wish he would keep Jesus' name out of his mouth.
Why?
Because he contradicts everything. Because he contradicts everything the Bible says. He don't know what the hell he's talking about when it comes to the Bible. I wish he would just stay on what he know.
What did he say wrong?
What he don't know. If you, I mean, he's really intelligent, but if you hate people dealing with religion, just let it go, bro. But that's his hang up. He wants to talk about how people dealing with religion, how slow they are. Maybe they not. Just let that go. You know what I'm saying?
I must have missed something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you always want to put that in there, people, religion, this and that, whatever. I mean, because he don't got Jesus in his life. Let other people have Jesus in their life. Let them think the way they want to think. And I think that might be the problem now. The famine of truth is gone. Everybody thinking their own eyes that they right. We spill all this, what we think we know, but at the end of the day, we have no solutions. It's either dealing with politics, it's the Republicans' fault or the Democrats' fault. Then after we get finished with the phone, we still don't have no solutions. So I'm trying to figure out, are we ever going to have solutions?
Solutions to what?
Or are we going to keep on blaming each other?
So what solutions are we looking for?
You tell me. Because I was listening to your buddy's show, and I almost brought tears to my eyes that these cats was reading from scripts. They had all the stuff they was talking about down on paper. It's like, this is so fake.
You talking about on Lincoln's show?
Yeah. The white guy that think he's black. It amazed me how he was in y'all midst all this long, and y'all told that man he was black. And he embarrassed Stefan, but I can't believe Stefan let him use him like that anyway. He was using Stefan all the way back to when he's on that show.
Who? I don't know who you're talking about.
That white guy. He was mayor once. I forgot his name. He was one of y'all mayors back in the day?
I have no idea who you're talking about. We've had a lot of white mayors.
He said he's black, but he speaks harder than black people.
Okay.
He had a show where he used to work at for a minute.
Okay, I don't know what white person you're talking about.
I forgot that guy's name. Yeah, I'm like, I said, man, this is a white guy.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I forgot his name, but if I close my eyes, I'm like, I think I'm hearing a black guy. But
people are saying that you're talking about Dwight Tillery.
Yeah.
Oh, this whole thing was a joke. I thought it was some white guy. I'm sorry.
Huh?
White? Huh?
Ain't he white?
No, he's definitely not white.
Okay. So he is black.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, all of them was reading from. He had a script that he was reading from. I just don't understand what was the purpose of all that.
Well, just based on what I heard on Wyatt's show, because again, I'm blocked on Lincoln's show, so I didn't hear it or see it. But
Sorry to hear that.
it is what it is. But based on what I heard on Wyatt's show, it sounds like they want to make it clear that it's important that black majority is important because people fought for it, and they want it to be clear that we understand that there's a really good chance that the mayor played a hand in it and that he needs to be held accountable as well. But, we just as people, as black people, we need to hold, even though you may have a majority, you still need to hold those people accountable. White people need to be held accountable. Black people need to be held accountable. Republicans need to be held accountable. Democrats need to be held accountable. Everybody needs to be held accountable by the black community for the state of the black community.
But don't people know? Didn't Cincinnati already knew that last week? We done that.
Well, just because. Okay, to answer your question, I'm going to say no. There are a lot of people in Cincinnati who don't hold people accountable, who really do believe you shouldn't question people and all that kind of stuff. Well, they black and they on council, you shouldn't, if you question a decision that they make or a direction that they're going, then you're anti-black and all that kind of stuff. No, there are people who really believe that.
But I ain't trying to be funny or nothing. But Cincinnati don't know that mayor is playing them. They don't know that mayor that they have is a snake.
Well, I'm not willing. I'm not willing to say that the man is a snake. I don't know him to be a snake, but he's a politician, and so. But there are people who they hear he's a politician, and hero worship is still real. So, no, there are a lot of people in Cincinnati who don't know that, they getting played.
But this is just me saying it. If y'all don't get him, he's going to hurt and get up out of there with he's going to do more. And I really can see that him and people around him, if y'all really get him, I can really see him going to jail, man. Because he's doing a lot of stuff. Him. And then that new cat they put in there, I mean, it's so obvious that was a conspiracy to put them all in there together, and they gonna strip Cincinnati down the time he get up out there being mayor. I mean, they already stole the railroad from you, so I don't understand, man. How much more y'all got to see evidence that mayor's a snake and he need to be locked up, and he got people around him need to be locked up.
All right.
Just like our mayor, he need to be locked up for the things he's doing down here. I'm gonna make sure he get locked up.
All right.
Yeah, man. Cincinnati's a good little town, man. The time he gonna take everything. Hey, have a good one.
You do the same. All right. Sometimes I think he just, he say stuff to have had said something. Nate.
Oh man, I was just sitting here with I said her name on air. I was just sitting here with child number 5. Anyway, how you doing, E-Man?
I'm doing good.
And I was saying, if one more person get that line before me, it's gonna be on. So now, unfortunately, I am in the car, even though I'm parked, but I don't have a pencil and a pen, so I did not take notes, so I might be all over the place, at least for the first few minutes.
All right.
But I want to start to answer Blade. Why was he reading off a script? So when you take down notes, early in the conversation, I don't know if people tuned in late, somebody was saying, you at that age, man, where if you don't want to forget stuff, you need to write them down.
Yes.
Well, guess what? Dwight Tillery is what, 70, 75? Hey, I don't know how old Dwight Tillery is, but he's at that age where you want to write stuff down.
Yes.
Before you go on the radio and make a presentation. In fact, even if he wasn't at a certain age, you want to make somebody asked Kamala Harris the other day, they said, why do you come off as scripted? And she said, well, some people call it scripted, other people call it being prepared. I believe that was when she was on the Breakfast Club. And so, sometimes people come with these silliest of arguments. He was reading off a script. And in fact, Blade started doing it while the man was talking. And some people tried to explain it to him. Guess what? He came in to do a presentation. He took some notes. And we ain't got no problem with the mayor reading off prepared notes. Anyway, something else that happened on the show was, and since I'm getting on people who called in already, let me get on Brent. Now, Brent said, if I understand correctly, tell me what you remember his definition of being dumb is. Because I'm wondering if Brent ain't, by his own definition, acting like a dummy these last couple of days.
I think his initial definition was, even when faced with credible information from multiple sources, you refuse to accept the information in support of basically whoever it is that you support.
Okay, so last week you did a whole, I ain't gonna say you did a whole show, you did a whole segment on Mika and how what Mika did might not have been legally wrong, but in the minds of a lot of black people, it was historically wrong, it was culturally wrong, it was politically wrong, and it was just wrong. Now, Brent gave the impression that after he took that verbal beat down, that he understood. Yet, here he go today. They brought the issue of Mika Owens giving away the black majority, and what do he say? Well, what did she do wrong? Did she break any laws? Well, I don't understand why we can't just move on. This whole microwave society, we shouldn't, go ahead. We shouldn't talk about stuff, even though it ain't worked out, even though it ain't resolved, even though there's been no community consensus on what should be done to Mika, how it should be done, what they should do going forward. Even though none of that has been resolved, and it's only been less than a week since she gave away the black majority, here he go, acting like by his own definition, having received the information, having it explained to him, going back to the same old questions that he was asking last week before he was given the answer by not just me, but you and multiple sources. So I wonder, is Brent saying that he's a dummy? Is he incapable of understanding? And if he's not incapable of understanding, why does he keep jumping out here? And then he said something else. He said, sometimes it becomes about if you like a certain person, then you're unable to accept criticism about them. Well, maybe this is a thing where he likes Mika, even though you don't know her and don't live in Cincinnati, couldn't have voted for her. Maybe he's just so in love with Mika or the thought of Mika Owens that he can't just let it sink in that this girl went and did something that was harmful to the black community and that went against what the elders and the ancestors fought hard to get, which is a black majority on city council. And then another one is Vernon. So Vernon keeps, what difference does it make if the black majority wasn't doing anything? If you can't name me 100 things that the black majority did that was good, then we shouldn't care about the black majority no more. What? So we should be okay with a white majority council where we can't identify anything that they've done for us for 100 years or however long. One thing you missed it, but Charlie Wimber actually came in there, and sometimes I'm not impressed with Charlie's presentation, but he actually came with a little more history, which, that appeals to me. So So he gave out the name and the date that the first black person got on council. He talked about how we had to fight and how long it took us to get 2, and then how long it took us to get 3, and then how we got 4. And eventually, I think he said it wasn't until 2021 that we got our first black majority. And if he's wrong, and if I heard it right, and if I remember it right, you're going to tell me that now black people are saying that over a 2-year period of having the black majority, and we haven't solved all the problems in black Cincinnati, and they're, you know what I'm saying? If they haven't done a complete turnaround of the city, then we should just say, oh, forget about that dream of having a black majority, of having control over the $1 billion budget, of having control over who becomes the city manager. And that to me is just crazy. And to use the word that y'all been using earlier, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. So,
well, I do have to say, I don't understand, in particular, when black people have such a high standard for black people, but virtually no standard for everybody else. It frustrates me. I would love to understand, and it's difficult because they don't want to have a conversation about why they feel how they feel and how they come to the conclusions that they come to. They get mad and, start attacking you and all that kind of stuff. I would love to have a conversation with one of these people to understand why they have such different standards. Like you said, white people for, 200 years can do nothing or very little to nothing for black people. But if you get a black majority, they got to do everything right now. And if they don't, then they was useless. I just,
right.
I don't understand. I would love to understand that.
And don't get me wrong. I was one of these people who I believe in iron sharpening iron. I believe it's a time and a place for criticism, even of black people. That's why I didn't have no problem trying to push Barack Obama to do more, of trying to push when they were coming after Kamala Harris, saying she needed to do more. But at a certain point in time, you have to say, okay, it's time out for that. They were talking about, I listened to this program by Dan Abrams. He's the legal analyst for ABC News. He's got News Nation, his own network, and he does this radio show. And he was talking about today how you got all these people, he focused on Michigan, but it's all over the country. You got these people who are saying, we voting for Jill Stein. And the reason he talked about the one-issue voters. And he was like, you got these one-issue voters who say, well, we're not happy with what the Biden-Harris administration has done as far as Palestine and the Palestinians and the two-state solution and the war that they say is on Hamas, but that has resulted in a whole bunch of civilians, Palestinian civilians, being killed over in Palestine. Okay. And his thing was, he didn't see how that made sense. I'm one of them people. I don't see how it makes sense at a certain point in time to keep dogging Kamala Harris out. Okay, we wanted to push her to be the strongest pro-black person that she could be. We wanted her to have a strong black agenda. Once you get as much as you can get, then it's time to get on board and get on the team. Now, after she gets elected, then we got to go back to pushing her, supporting her when she's right, pushing her when we think we can get more out of her. That's what people are trying to say about Mika, and I think, if I heard between the lines, what they're trying to say, y'all should be doing with y'all mayor, Aftab, and it just makes sense. I heard Reverend Al Sharpton one time. He was talking about how when the first black mayor, David Dinkins, came to New York, him and some of the other activists, they used to beat up on David Dinkins, and then David Dinkins lost, and Rudy Giuliani came in there. And some of them got together, which is what you should do. When you push something and it don't work out exactly how you thought it was going to work out, then you got to question yourself. That's what reasonable and responsible people do. So he said once
Rudy Giuliani came in there and put stop and frisk and doing all this stuff that they was doing to black people. They was like, man, we can never make that mistake again. And he was saying this while Barack Obama was still in office. He was saying, we do have to go, but we got access to this man, and we can go talk to him. I'm hoping that some people with access to Mika Owens is right now saying, man, I let you down. I should have came to you with this suggestion and telling you that this was a landmine you didn't want to step on, and we got to make sure that you don't ever, if you're in this position again, that you don't ever make this mistake. That's one thing. But this whole, we can't talk about Mika, because you said you would love to have a conversation with him. This is what the conversation is like when you try to have it with these people. They say, well, we're just saying it's time to move on. Move on after 24 hours or after 3 days? It's time to move on? Well, we're just saying y'all not coming up with solutions. Part of the solution is the person who makes the mistake has to get some level of political spanking. This is part of the process that they don't want to deal with. They never want to deal with it when it's somebody that they like.
Now, hold on, because you brought up political spanking. Brent wants to know, he says, E-Man, ask your brother if he advocated for Miss Owens getting lashes for her city council choice.
Absolutely. Is that a direct enough answer for you, Brent? So, yes, that's part of the process. When you do our community wrong, now some people are saying she's probably young, she just didn't know. Maybe so. But when you get out here in a high-profile position where part of your loyalty, part of your duty has to be to the black community and protecting that black majority, and you do us wrong or you do the black community wrong, yeah, part of the process is you're going to have to take this, you're going to have to take these licks for a minute. And hopefully it won't be that long. What I think would be good, Mika ought to come out and apologize. She's done the whole, well, I'm explaining my position. She did that. But what's missing is you do an explanation and you do an apology. Hey, I really didn't know it was, I think I heard Brent say this. And if Brent, a non-politician down in Texas, got enough sense to do this, why don't Mika Owens? I think Brent said last week, hey, man, I didn't know that this was such a touchy issue. I didn't know the history. I didn't know people had put that much energy and effort into getting the black majority. I didn't understand why it was such an important issue. Then, of course, after after the weekend, he went right back to asking them dumb questions. Well, did she break the law? Well, I don't see why y'all criticizing her then. Or I don't see what good this does, and we need to get straight to the solution. We need to get straight to the charter change. Maybe that ain't in the cards. Maybe the community don't want to go down that road. You don't want to jump to that because then you got a chance that, number one, you can make a bad solution, and number two, people could get wore out. That ain't always a solution. Well, we got to go to a charter change. That's another long, hard process that takes a lot of people collecting signatures. And so what if they don't get that solution that y'all gave them? This is the solution to y'all problem. Then they can't never go back and hold Mika accountable for going against what the majority of voters in Cincinnati said they wanted, which was the majority black council. I wanted to talk to you. You talked about, are we voting for Kamala or are we voting against Trump? And I think that's very interesting because I can remember a lot of black people that I knew and that I talked to telling me, well, this is a choice between Hillary and between Trump. And because Hillary, even though she wasn't in no elected office, because Hillary supported the crime bill from 1994, I just had to go with Trump. It's the lesser of two evils. Now, that's what they said in 2016. But now in 2024, you got all the black Trumpsters like Radicalized Ron and Telephone Twerking Twin, where you say, well, wait a minute, in 2016, y'all said it was okay for us to say we voting against Hillary, and by default we voting for Trump. But now it's not okay to say we saw what Trump did for 4 years. Man, he wrecked the economy. Man, he tried to get Hillary locked up. He tried to turn the government against her. He tried to turn the government against us. He tried to overthrow the government, lead a violent revolution on January 6th. He tried, all this stuff that he did that was bad for black people.
He did a lot of bad stuff.
Not as good as what Kamala and them did. We've seen his record. But now they tell us it's not okay for y'all to say we're voting against Trump. That's not fair. We got to be voting for Kamala. We got to have her whole record. We got to know her life history. We got to, all this stuff that they saying. She got to give us a detailed policy analysis on what she going to do in Israel and what she going to do in Ukraine and what she going to do in Bond Hill and what she going to do in Rome. And we got to have one set of standards. If it was okay in 2016, why is it not okay in 2024?
Something happened to your phone.
One of the candidates.
All right, there it is.
E-Man?
Yeah, you back. It went out a little bit, but you back.
Okay, now, I don't know if you argued about this or if you even feel like you're arguing, because like I say, the votes is already being cast, and they will be being counted pretty soon. I already voted. I got 5 adult voters in my household. They all voting this year. If I got anything to do with it, they all voting. And I'm pretty sure that 4 of them, at least 4 of them, is voting for Kamala and Sherrod Brown and our
That damn Sherrod Brown. That damn Sherrod Brown is way too liberal for Ohio.
I heard it for sending boys and men in the girl bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just see they say
That damn Sherrod Brown. Oh, I see way too many of those commercials. It's making me want to go vote for Sherrod Brown.
I am a little worried about Sherrod Brown, and just because, and I told him this in his face. And remind me, my last thing I want to talk about is the white Hillary and Stephon Brown, in case I lose track of my train of thought. Man, I told Sherrod Brown, I saw him at an event for what's the young lady in Georgia?
Something happened again.
Anyway,
Something happened to your phone. Can't hear you.
Anyway,
Nate.
hey, put me on the Bluetooth. Yellow.
All right. Got you back.
Oh. I don't know what just happened. Oh, when you try to go, basically, I got child number 5 in here. She's trying to use my headphones to go on her device, and so that's what happened. I'll be real short. Bear with me. Anyway, so the lady from Georgia who ran for governor, she was in Toledo, and Sherrod Brown was there, his wife was there, and anyway, I got some FaceTime with Sherrod Brown, and I told that guy, I said, man, look, he comes to Toledo a lot, but he goes to these events with like union people or Democratic people. He never come out to like the common man and woman. Now, I guess he would argue, well, union people are the common man and woman, but you get what I'm saying. You got to be in some kind of group, he don't never like do an ad in the newspaper or on TV and say, I'm having a town hall meeting. All the people of Toledo can come. And I told him you need to stop that because you need more voters than just the union voters. You need more voters than just the people who are hooked in and come to these democratic functions. And he told me, I'm going to work on it. I'm going to try to do it It's a lot of towns and a lot of people want my town. But anyway, he didn't do it. So that's my one sort of knock on Sherrod Brown. Anyway, so Dwight Tillery and Stephon Pryor, and I promise this is my last thing. Now, Stephon Pryor called in, and Lincoln Ware let him get on the air, and he said, I'm paraphrasing, of course. He said, Dwight Tillery, you over here talking about all this black stuff, but when I ran against that white boy, Danny, who whooped him, when I ran against that white boy, I came to you and I asked you for your endorsement and for your support, and you talking all that black stuff, but I'm black and you didn't support me. You supported the white boy, Danny Isaacson. And then he said, oh man, maybe somebody in the chat can refresh my mind on the second thing he said. But basically, he had two critical things about Dwight Tillery. And so I'm want to make a statement, but I want to ask you a question too.
All right.
Clear this up. Because you were there when Dwight Tillery had a show on the Buzz.
I was.
And a couple things came to my mind. Number one was my own history with Dwight Tillery. Dwight Tillery, and one of his people listening, they might get mad at me. It's kind of this unspoken thing. You never speak out publicly against Dwight Tillery. So his soldiers, and he got a team of soldiers. That lady who runs the clothes and the health gap, she been with Dwight Tillery ever since I met Dwight Tillery. So he has a bunch of people who are very loyal to him. And I get it. And I feel like I was loyal to Dwight Tillery. And at one point in time, I wasn't an official lieutenant, but I was kind of close to the team. You know what I'm saying? But in 2001, I wanted to run for council. I kind of wanted to do it. I kind of didn't want to do it. But I was in jail during them 60 days that Judge Winkler had gave me for disrupting the Oktoberfest with Charlie Lukin, and it all blew up and everything. And so the judge said, well, I'm going to give you're in here talking to me about civil disobedience. Well, one thing about civil disobedience, Mr. Livingston, is you have to be willing to pay the cost. You have to pay the price. And so the price you're going to pay for disrupting that event is I'm going to give you 60 days in jail. And he thought I was going to break down and I guess start crying. Oh, no, please, Judge, don't do it to me. So I said, okay. So I marched off to jail with my head held high. So while I was in jail, I was communicating with different people. I had a lot of public officials, a lot of judges, a lot of lawyers, a lot of preachers, all was able to come to you back in the day. They could come to you in jail and not waste one of your visits. So they said, well, what you want to do? What you want us to do? I said, I want you to bring me a stack of voter registration forms. I'm going to continue on with the protest from inside jail. So I started a voter registration campaign from inside the jail. And I said, they said, well, we got some people who want to put your name on the ballot. They want to go collect your signatures, and they want you to run for a seat on Cincinnati City Council. We believe that'll be a way for you to get a system, a big black eye. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So while I was in jail, the people used to come with signs every day for maybe an hour or 2 hours. Iris Rowley was one of the people who used to come. And I know the story is getting long already as I'm telling it. But so anyway, let me cut to the chase. They went, and while I was in jail, went and pulled the petitions. They brought them to me. You have to sign before they go collect signatures. I signed from in jail that I would allow my name to go be on the ballot if they would get me enough signatures. We were trying to do sort of a spin-off of how they did with Harold Washington in Chicago. You know the old story about Harold Washington said, well, if y'all raise such and such a money and get me the signatures, I'll run, but only if y'all do it. And so my thing was, if y'all give me the signatures, I'll run. So they got me the signatures. So the day I got out of jail, we had all the signatures. I didn't have to go circulate not one petition. I signed my name, took it over to the Board of Elections. My name was on the ballot. So anyway, Dwight Tillery started something called the Black political caucus. I think that's the right name of it. Anyway,
Not quite,
they
but
had
it was
already,
close.
well, they had already started interviewing people because part of the day deal was we're going to get a black slate or a pro-black slate. So we're going to probably have some white people on here, but we're going to get a pro-black slate, and we're going to run them, and then the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, and the Charterites, they have to come to us to get our black vote. So I went to the white and the people who was behind that. I said, hey, man, I'm black. Can I get an endorsement from the black political caucus? And the white said, man, it's too late. I love what you're doing, Nate. And I believe you got a lot of people who feel like you was doing wrong, and they'll probably vote for you, but this organization can't endorse you. But I tell you what I'll do. I'll donate. The max at the time, I believe, was $1,000. The white wrote me a check for $1,000 to my campaign. Then he said, I got a friend named Kathy Lewis. She got a whole bunch of money. I'm going to ask Kathy to write you a check for $1,000 too. Kathy Lewis wrote me a check for $1,000. He said, I got some more rich friends. I'm going to ask them for $1,000. They might not do $1,000. Almost all of my fundraising came from people who Dwight asked me. He was basically a bundler. Now, I'm telling that because Stefan went on and basically dogged out Dwight Tillery because he didn't support him. And this is what Dwight said. He said, man, look, number one, I told you when you came, I had already endorsed Danny. So what kind of man would I be if I revoked my endorsement and gave it to you? He said, number two, I told you you didn't have a chance in hell of winning that race. And the reason why is, I told you, Stefan, it's more to running for politics. And you being a political science guy, maybe you can speak to this. He said it's more to just going down to council and fussing, hollering and screaming. It's more to calling on the radio. And I think that Stefan, after all these years, he still hasn't heard that. He still won't listen to people who tell him, bruh, it's some stuff that you should be doing, like Kamala Harris. Kamala has raised $1 billion, more money than anybody in history. A black woman. Now, they're saying Blade is part of this stupid coalition that likes to say, this is the first time I heard him say, Dwight Tillery so light-skinned, that ain't no black man.
Quickly.
Yes, sir. And they saying it about Kamala Harris. Well, whether she's a part Asian, part black, part Jamaican, whatever she is, she's done what none of these white folks have been able to do. She raised $1 billion. Number two, she took, when you're running in politics, it's about organization. Kamala Harris inherited Joe Biden's organization, but nobody would say that she hasn't strengthened it. I'm saying that not to bore people, but to say to Stefan something that I would say to him off the air, if he would ever have a rational conversation without going crazy. No, nigga, you just talking about, you just doing the work of the lobbyists. No, you just got to stop that crazy talk if you ever want to be taken seriously as a politician, as a political figure. It ain't just, and he is a boxer. And my understanding, the only job Stefan ever had was following in his daddy's footsteps to be a boxer. If somebody came to you and you were a trainer, or you were a manager, or you were a promoter, and they said, man, I want to box. And you said, okay, well, you got to put in the work. You got to go to the gym. You got to study under this person. They got to teach you how to throw a cross versus a jab. They got to, you wouldn't say, no, I ain't doing none of that shit. Fuck you, man. I told you I want to be a boxer, and if you won't support me, you a sellout. No! So, just like it's rules and stuff that you have to do to be a great boxer, it's stuff that you have to do if you want to be a serious political candidate. And Stefan Pryor over all this time that he's shown his desire to do it, hasn't shown his desire to go to school and learn how to do it. And I hear you saying you up on the break.
Did Dwight Tillery actually tell him that? Again, I didn't listen. So did Dwight actually say the things that you said that he said to him on the air?
Well, of course he wasn't as long-winded as I was.
No, I don't mean that long-winded. I mean, like, you said did he tell him, like, I had already made an endorsement and...
He said that.
And
he said that.
I told you didn't have a chance in hell, and...
He said that. He might not have said in hell. He said he told him he didn't have a chance. I think it was because Stefan probably got in late and didn't have no organization, didn't have no money. So it was like, how you gonna win? I don't know. I'm adding words to him, and I don't know what. But he did say he told him he didn't have a chance of winning. And then the third thing I think you were about to ask me was, did Dwight say he told him that it was more to being a political candidate than just going down to City Hall and screaming at people? He said that on the air. So I don't have no doubt in my mind that if Dwight said that on the air, he has said that and even more to Stefan. And then, of course, he also threw this out with, my knock on Dwight. He can't take criticism. He said Stefan wrote him, after he told him he couldn't support him, Stefan sent him, he said, the nastiest text message that he's ever got from a person. And I guess that's when he cut all ties to Stefan Pryor. Oh, but before I go, the question to you was, you're a witness, did Dwight Tillery give Stefan Pryor literally dozens of hours of free airtime to get his name out there, to show people that he could deal with issues, to get some credibility just by being, in the studio with the former mayor? Do you think, based on what you know, that Dwight Tillery tried to help Stefan Pryor along the way? Or do you think maybe that he used Stefan, and then when Stefan came and asked him for a favor, that he said, "Nah, I'm got to go with the white boy"?
All right.
That's my question. Let me hang up and listen to your answer. Please answer that, and then child number 5 can use the headphones.
All right. Well, tell child number 5 that she's gorgeous and she looks much younger than she is.
Did you hear that? I'll tell her.
All right.
She's actually dozed off.
Oh,
but
okay.
I will tell her.
All right.
All right.
Of course, that's an inside joke. Did Dwight Tillery? Yes, Dwight Tillery had what's his name? We just talked about him just forever. Stefan Pryor and Kelly Prather on a whole lot. He had him on that show a whole lot. And I know that he was trying to help Stefan, I'm going to say, sharpen his skills. And there were a few times that he asked me, like, Stefan is on this thing right here. Can he call your show and talk about it? He might have some information about this, and, he thinks this is a big issue. Can he call your show and talk about it? And, because of course at that time I had a show, and, I would tell him, like, yes, he can call my show. And one of the things, I like Stefan, but one of the things Stefan did, which is the same thing that, what's the dude who says mama didn't raise no hoe? He did it too. I can't think of his name. He was a city council member who ended up getting in trouble. One of the things that he did a couple times when, he was, I got this big thing. Oh, it's going to be big. I want to come on your show. Or Dwight would say, he think it's going to be big. Jeff Pastor. He think it's going to be big and he want to come on your show and blah, blah, blah. He would always call Lincoln's show. Y'all know me and Lincoln's show was back to back. So he would call Lincoln's show and try to break this big thing and then want to call my show to try to break this big thing. And I remember telling Dwight, like, look, you can't call me and say, we want to break this big news on your show, and then call Lincoln's show 10 minutes before my show to break the big news, and then think you're going to get on my show to talk about the big news that you just broke on Lincoln's show. Lincoln going to give you 2.5 minutes. Now, I'm prepared to give you a segment or two. So you need to decide. And he'd be like, I tried to tell him that, but, I can't control what the brother do. And I'm like, all right. And so after a minute, I think Dwight just understood, like, hey, he ain't gonna listen. I'm trying to tell him how to move and how to do this, but he won't listen. And so Dwight even stopped, reaching out to me like, hey, can he come on in? He was like, hey, it is what it is, whatever, But I know that Dwight did try to help him. I don't know anything that happened behind the scenes. I can't speak for nothing that happened behind the scenes. But I know Dwight was trying to help him and mentor him. And how that whole thing fell apart, I don't know. And people don't, that's my answer to that. I don't know that a lot of people understand. If you, think about this. If you say to Channel 5, I'm going to give you an exclusive interview. And Channel 5 like, all right, you're going to give me an exclusive interview. Cool. And then y'all record that interview on Tuesday, and it's supposed to play on Wednesday. But then Tuesday night, you give that same interview to Channel 9 live. Why's Channel 5 going to rate? They've been advertising an exclusive interview. You just screwed Channel 5. But people don't think about that. And that's something that, I know that's a small thing, but that's something that people pay attention to. Because after Jeff Pastor did that, I didn't really have no use for Jeff Pastor. Like, no, bro, you told me you was going to come on the show. You told me you was going to give me this exclusive, blah, 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 blah. And instead you went over there. And then they'll try to call me talking about, all right, well, I'm ready to come on. No, thank you. I was only on with him for a few minutes, man. I need more time to flesh this out. You should have thought about that when you decided to go over there for a few minutes. You're not giving me no exclusive anymore. And it's again, it sounds like a small thing, but that's one of them things that politicians understand. Politicians know that. And those are at least, I only know one or two of the things that, was going on. But those are the type of things that you can learn from a political mentor. That, I'm not sure that a lot of people really pay attention. But that's the answer to the question. That's the answer to the question. Hold on just for a second, because I know I do have to get out of here. It's 5:22. Let me say this. In my mind, it's important to have a black majority on council. Even if the black majority ain't doing nothing. What? How could you say that? Look, I believe I told y'all, when Barack Obama became the president, and even now that Kamala Harris is the vice president, there is something to seeing black people in power that helps to motivate some black people. Not everybody ain't the same. Some people, I don't never need to have seen a black person in power to want to work and help black people and believe it's possible for me to ascend to a certain level. For some people, that's how they operate. But for other people, it's a little meme that goes around. And it says, in order to be a man, he has to see a man. I don't agree with that. For me, or for some people, but for some people, that's true. For some people, that's true. So for some people, in order to believe that they can attain a certain level of power, they have to see somebody that look like them at a certain level of power. And again, I'm not against symbolism. I'm not against symbolism. Even if it's, this one's going to be a little easy to pick apart, but hopefully I can make it make sense. You put 5 black people on council. You put 5 black people on council. And let's say 3 of them is working in the best interest of black people. 2 of them is, puppets for the white man, so to speak. There's still something symbolic about that. First, there's always an opportunity that the ones that are the puppets can cut them strings and do what they have to do. So there's always a possibility. But if nothing else, young people, say I'm in college or college age or grassroots, but I'm out there, I can look and see it's possible for us to get together and create a group of people. There's a word that I was looking for, but again, y'all know my brain don't recall stuff like it used to. But a group of people to work to get on council so then we could work and vote in a block. But if you've never seen it, you're like, it's going to be impossible for us to get 5 black people on council. It's going to be impossible for us to even get up there. So why even, there are people who have that attitude. It's going to be impossible. So why even try? I think, Ron, I'm going to take your words. Ron say, we sick of black faces that are not doing anything for us, but they telling us they work in our best interest. That doesn't work anymore. I think it's important to see black faces. I think it's important to see black faces. You know who else think it's important to see black faces? Republicans think it's important to see black faces. Why do you think they got, Byron Donaldson and Tim Scott and, that whole group? I'm sure they hope that by having those guys, black people will see those black faces, even though they're not working in their best interest. Black people will see those black faces and gravitate more towards, they'll think, hey, it's possible that I could attain some level of success in the Republican Party because I see black faces there. Just having black faces don't make a difference in terms of policy potentially. But having black faces can make a difference in terms of black people believing that they can attain and then change policy. I don't think I brought it home right. But sometimes it's not a one man gets in and make all the change. Sometimes it's one man get in and hold it down. And then another man get in and move forward a little bit. And then another man get in and make some change. And then another man get in and totally flip the game. But none of that happens in my scenario without that first man just getting in there and just being there. Because it ceases to be possible in a lot of people's minds. So let's say, for instance, these 5 people, now 4, but these 5 people on council don't do nothing for black people. But they showed you it's possible. And it's some black people looking at them like, you know what? They ain't doing nothing. But they got the majority. Just think. We could get in there. It's possible. I see it's possible now. We can get in there and actually make some change. I know it sound crazy. I know it sound crazy. But for some people, that's how their brain work. Now, I don't necessarily buy into the hype that they're not doing anything for black people. Again, I go to, what do you want them to do? Did y'all expect, we're going to get 5 members on city council, and then they're going to say, the city of Cincinnati is giving black people reparations. We voted for it. Is that what you thought? All city contracts is going to black people. Is that what you wanted? That's what you expected to see happen if you got a black majority? No police will ever break the rules when it comes to black people. Is that what you thought was going to happen? What do you want? What do you think that they could do that they didn't do? What were you looking for? But for real, I'm asking, what did they not do that you wanted them to do as the black majority? I thought what they could have did, why didn't they start a black bank? That's not their role. Like, what did you want them to do that they didn't do? I mean, it might be stuff. And then did you go to them? Ron says, I'm not sure. I think he's saying he wanted them to complain about gun violence in teens. Is that what you're saying? Because they did. Hold on, violence in the city and come up with a surplus of $13 million and nobody's discussing, nobody's discussing anything to do with the money, helping African Americans, not even the homeless situation, 5,000 CPS students. So what do you want them to do? You want the 5 black members of council to say, Scotty say, hey, I'm putting forth a motion to spend this $13 million to help 5,000 CPS homeless students. We gonna give them $13 million. And you about to say, don't be ridiculous. That's not what I'm saying. So what are you saying? What are you saying? What do you want them to do? Tanika, that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like, hey, you got 5 black members of council. I want them to solve homelessness. How unfair is that? Okay, now we got 5 white majority. The majority is white now. Are you asking them to solve homelessness? Nah, that's black people's job. Ain't no city in America, to my knowledge, solved homelessness. But hey, in Cincinnati, you got 5 black members of council. They should have solved homelessness and violence. Like the standards are so unrealistic when it's black people. The standard is so unrealistic. You got 5 black members of council, and you want them to have solved homelessness? Ron says, I want them to go find a building that's in disarray. Hear what you're asking 5 black members of city council to do. I want them to go find a building that's in disarray, because that's always been the job of city council, is going and finding buildings. Find a building that's in disarray and build a facility for juvenile offenders somewhere for these 5,000 CPS students to go, and not just focus on displaced immigrants, especially when they got a surplus of $13 million. Again, really think about this, y'all. Think about what he's saying. Think about what some of y'all are saying. We have 5 black members of council, and now it is their responsibility to, 1, go find a building in disarray, and then build a facility for juvenile offenders, and somewhere for the 5,000 homeless CPS students to go. That is the job of the 5 black members of city council. And if they didn't do that, they didn't do anything to help black people. That is not realistic. Okay, now you got 5 white members, the white majority. Ron, are you calling them, saying to them, hey, I want you to go find a building that's in disarray? Oh, I can ask him right here. Ron.
You knew how to light a fire under my ass.
Hold on, Ron.
I'm sorry.
No.
Hey, whoa.
Hold on, Ron.
How you feel?
I feel all right, but just for today, I want to have a productive.
Okay.
Hold on, I want to have a productive conversation. All right.
Productive. And
Yes.
I ain't gonna even cuss your ass out.
Okay.
But you know what? Let me say something. You now, 3 weeks ago, they found $13 million. And thank you, Cheryl Long, for doing what her job was, for finding that money.
Okay.
They found $13 million.
Right.
Now, they've been fussing about the teen violence and the teen guns and all that since what? That's 18.
Okay.
18. That's when I started my business because I wanted to address that shit.
Okay.
Now, they've been fussing about that shit. They got $13 million. They got $13 million.
Okay.
Ain't nobody said, hey, now Iris Rowley. Now I'm doing the Trump. Now Iris Rowley is going down there every day. She's been going down there since last year.
Okay.
Now it ain't no secret that Iris going down here. It ain't no secret. It ain't no secret.
Right.
So they know, it ain't no secret that she been feeding them kids.
Okay.
It ain't no secret.
Okay.
So now they found that money, and we got 5 African American. Well, we did have 5 African American city council members that can lobby the black folks. Since the black folk was the one, quote unquote, getting in trouble, getting in all the trouble. And you know, we have a problem with guns in our community.
Okay.
We have a problem with guns in our community. So how come ain't nobody say, hey, I know exactly what to do with this money. I know exactly what to do with this money. Now we found $13 million this year. Now we found millions of dollars every year.
Ron.
Every year.
Ron.
Emmanuel.
Okay, now
Emmanuel.
we have 5 white member majority. Is that
no? Because you,
Ron? I didn't interrupt you, Ron. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you, Ron. 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 I did not interrupt you. I thought we were gonna have a productive conversation.
Okay.
So
now we got 5 majority.
So now, white people have a majority, 5.
Okay.
Is the
Okay.
expectation the same for them? You want them to go find a dilapidated
No,
building
wait,
and
no, wait. Hell no. First of all, and that's full of shit ass stuff I be talking about. You know, we always say white folk ain't looking out for us, white folk ain't looking out for us. But then you'll say, oh, where's the white folk gonna look out for us? Fuck that. I'm looking for black folk to look out for us and the black community.
Okay.
I ain't worried about what. Wait a minute, hold up. I ain't worried
All I
about
said was
white
okay.
folk because of black folk is that what put them in office.
okay.
The
So
black folk is what put them in. And not you was talking all this shit and being facetious about what
who
I
was
said.
being facetious?
But
I wasn't being facetious. I read what you
wait a
said.
minute. I didn't know that, and a whole lot of people probably don't know that the old workout, the broken up windows and all that stuff, the old workout.
Whole workout.
Do you know that that's an office building? No, did you know that?
No. Don't know, don't care.
Did you know that? Yeah, that broken down ass, fucked up ass building
Okay.
is an office building.
Okay, it's an office building. You're saying that to say what?
When we needed some place to house these juvenile offenders.
Ron, who renovated that?
2020 is old as hell. And now
Ron,
2020
who renovated it?
Wait a minute. Hold up.
Now, it's kind of important.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up.
It's kind of important.
Queen
No.
Jay.
You
Wait,
hold
wait,
up.
hold up.
No, you hold up.
Queen
It's
Jay.
kind of important who renovated the old workhouse. City council?
Well, I don't know.
Then how do you put that responsibility on the 5 black members of city council?
Wait a minute. Hold up. Just hold up. Because see, the five city council members, they had to, all the council members had to agree to get that reworked. They had to.
What?
Just like they had to do. They had to give somebody the authority to go in there and do the shit.
When was that done?
Man, it's done. It's
When?
done. It's complete.
No, it's important to know when.
No, it was this last year before. It's
No,
done.
I'm saying when was I guess the bit was that a city?
No.
Well, Ron.
Year before.
Ron, here's why. Ron, no. Hold on. Listen to me, Ron. Ron, listen to me. Please listen to me. I'm asking the question
right.
for a reason.
All right. Yeah.
Was it?
You want to
Ron,
see?
can I?
Wait, see.
Ron, come on. I thought we was
Okay.
gonna have a conversation,
Okay.
bro.
Okay. Come on, man.
Ron, if the building was it a city building or was it a county building?
Man.
Was it a city building or was it a county building? You brought it
Hey,
up.
man.
I don't know. You
Okay.
brought it up, so you should have that information.
Hey. It's a city building. Yeah,
Okay,
it's a
so
city
it was a
building.
city.
Hell
So
yeah.
okay, so it was a
Hell
city
yeah.
building. So Ron. So when did they sell?
I don't know what they did, man. That ain't my point.
Ron,
That ain't my point.
here's why that's important. Ron, here's why that's important.
You're making me lose.
Come on, Ron.
Okay, tell me why it's
Please.
important, man.
Here's why it's important. Because you're saying
Okay.
that the 5 black members of city council had to vote for it. But if it was sold before they were the majority, then they did not have to vote for it.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that.
So when was it
wasn't
sold?
that. It wasn't because it just look.
When
That ain't
was
my-
it sold?
Oh no! God damn it!
So then you don't know if the black members of city council voted for it or not.
Because that ain't my point, nigga.
That was your point. Your
ain't
point
my
was
point,
they
nigga.
voted for that to happen so they could vote for
Man,
something else to happen.
So why you gotta nigga get the fuck out of here with all of that. See, that's why I be frustrated with your ass.
Because
You
you
know, let
don't
me
be
get
mad.
my
Don't be
point-
frustrated
let
with
get
me
my point
because
out.
you come up with cockamamie
but you
ideas
know
that
what?
don't have a
You
point.
know what? When you know that I'm going to eat your point alive, then you will sit there and try to jiggity all that other little bullshit.
You didn't-
Fuck that shit.
You're not gonna
Because
eat nothing.
No, because now let me finish my fucking point.
Go ahead, finish your effing point. I don't cuss, so I'm not
point
going.
is-
But we just so we
my
clear, we
point
not gonna
is-
have an actual conversation because I'm not sure that
I mean,
you and I can.
because you won't even fucking see. Let me finish my point.
I'm
You
letting you finish your point.
Nigga. All right. You got $13 million that they found. $13 million.
Back to 13.
And I'm just saying example. Just saying an example. You got $13 million that they found.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, 5 black members ain't got to do anything. All 5 black members can't do anything anyway. They just can't all do that shit by themselves. But they can lobby like they do on all this other shit and do something significant instead of have us trickery with all that smoke and mirror shit. Just like that apology, and then we got that apology, but then they build condos and houses there on John Street and all that stuff, but right there in the neighborhood.
I'm not sure
What the
that.
fuck did we get the apology for? What did we somebody put it in the chat. What the fuck did we get the apology for? Now we got Queensgate.
I still don't.
Now, of
understand
course,
the point.
we have a problem with youth violence, and the facilities that we have are overcrowded, and they just let them go.
Ron,
We had Queensgate down there. What did they do with that shit? They left the bars up. They even left the bars up.
how
They
are you
turned that shit
blaming
to
the
an
5
office
black
building.
members
They
of city
turned-
council
wait,
because
I'm-
there's
hey,
overcrowding
man,
at the county
hey.
jail?
Hey, no, I ain't saying overcrowding at the county jail. I said it was overcrowding at the juvenile facility.
That's a
And we
county
need another
facility.
juvenile facility.
That's a
Wait
county
minute.
facility.
We need another juvenile facility.
That's
we
county.
Need another juvenile. Well, hey, nigga, I didn't finish. We need another juvenile facility, and Queensgate was available.
That's county.
They left the bars up in the motherfucker.
That's-
and made it an office.
That's
building.
county.
As much as we
That's
needed
not
it,
the
as
city.
much- I
That's
don't
not
give
the
a fuck.
city.
But you know what? Hey, wait. You can negotiate with the county. They do it all the fucking time.
Wait,
That's the city's
hold on.
responsibility.
Ron, can I just make sure that I
Has the problem.
Can I just make
the
sure-
city is what has
Ron,
the problem.
Ron,
The
Ron.
city is what has the problem. They don't do negotiations with the county.
Ron, can I just make
The
sure?
city don't do negotiations with the county.
Can I make
The
sure-
city
can I
don't do
make sure that I
negotiations with the
understand
county.
what you're
Well,
saying?
Can
I
ask a question?
Ron,
The
Ron.
city don't do
Ron.
city don't do negotiations with the county.
Ron. Ron,
Emmanuel,
once.
Emmanuel.
Ron,
you,
twice.
You always
Ron.
do.
Okay, I'm sorry. You can't. You can do whatever you want. Mentally, you can put yourself through the paces however you feel like it. It's not fair to say to 5 black city council members that it is your job to deal with overcrowding at the county facilities. It ain't nobody else's job but the 5 black city council members. There are from some black people, not all black people, from some black people, there are unrealistic expectations put on black people in leadership. They're not reasonable and they're not realistic. They're not reasonable and they're not realistic. ooh, we got 5 black city council members, so we should solve crime, homelessness, overcrowding at the juvenile facility. And then if they don't do that, if they don't solve crime, hunger, homelessness, overcrowding at juvenile facilities that aren't even their facilities, and if they don't do that within a year, they're not representing black people. It's not reasonable or realistic. And I'm one who very rarely says this. Well, I'm not even going to say it because I know it's not true. But a lot of times, people don't put that level of expectation on nobody else. That's black expectation. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. And I was willing to have a conversation to understand it, but he was just screaming at me and not listening. And Ron, I love you. I really do. I love you. You my brother. But one of these days, we're going to have a reasonable, sensible conversation because I can't understand where you're coming from when I can't clarify things. I can't ask questions. I can't try to... We disagree. It's different if I agree with you. I agree. We on the same page. I don't need to get an understanding of where you're coming from. But when I disagree with you, I need to understand what you're saying and why you're saying it. Make it make sense to me. If I already agree with you, it makes sense to me. One of these days, you call in, don't be contentious. Let's have a conversation so that I can understand. I want to understand. And when I say stuff like, so you're saying that you want the 5 black council members to solve crime, you can say, hopefully calmly, no, I'm not saying I want them to solve crime. What I'm saying is I want them to whatever it is that you're saying you want them to do. And then I'll probably still not totally understand it. So I'll ask another clarifying question. Hopefully by the end of the conversation, I'm like, okay, so I see what you want them to do. I might still feel like it's not reasonable, but at least I'll understand it. It won't just sound like I want black people to create world peace and goodwill towards all men. I want the 5 members of Cincinnati City Council to solve the war in Ukraine and peace in the Middle East and, all that kind of stuff. Like, because that's almost on the level that it sounds like to me. Ron says, you knew what I was saying. Ron, I genuinely, as I sit here right now, I feel like what you were saying was that having 5 black members of city council, there should be no gun violence in the city. There should be no homelessness amongst black people. They should build a new juvenile facility for the county, and just that's what I heard. If we got 5 black members of city council, we shouldn't have crime, hunger, homelessness, or overcrowding. That's what I heard. And I was trying to get clarification. But honestly, I'm not even trying to be funny, Ron. No, that's what I heard. That's what it sounds to me. As I sit here right now, because Ron is saying, I didn't mean that. I didn't say that. Don't be absurd. He said, no, that's absurd. You crazy as hell. That's why you have me so frustrated. Ron. Hold on. Is it just me? Or didn't y'all hear Ron say that? Am I the only one? Like, I don't want to, because I like Ron and I don't want to mischaracterize, but that's what I'm sitting here right now. That's what I heard. If it's 5 black members of council, it shouldn't be no homelessness in CPS. If it's 5 black members of council, there shouldn't be overcrowding at the juvenile facility. If it's 5 black members of council, that's what I heard. I'm telling you, that's what I heard. We still got gun violence. If there's 5 black members of council, there shouldn't be gun violence in the city. I promise you, that's what I heard. Ron says that is not what I said. Then why did I hear that? I don't know why. Why did I hear that? If you didn't say that, why did I hear that? Because I got COVID. That might be, okay, I'll give you that one. That might be it. I can't say with 100% certainty that that's not the case. Oh, that 17th degree COVID is making me hear stuff that wasn't actually said. Okay. I like that. I like that. Y'all, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I gotta get ready to get out of here. That's a good high note to go out on. I appreciate it. Y'all, it was a nice day today. So if y'all get an opportunity to get out there, I don't know if it's still nice, but, you know, get out there, enjoy the weather. When does time go change? When does time go back? Hold on. November 3rd. All right. Yeah, y'all get out and enjoy this last light, because, again, keep in mind, in a couple weeks, it'll already be 7 o'clock. No, it'll be just now, it'll be 5 o'clock. So it'll be well dark by 6 o'clock. Get out and enjoy the light while you still got it. Get out and enjoy the light while you still got it. I always get confused, but time is going to fall back. So then, right now would be 4:56. And it is coming up on dark. It's going to be dark by 5:30. It's going to be dark by 5, like dark by 5:30. Man, get out and enjoy this daggone daylight while we got it. All right. I appreciate y'all. Until next time, be the reason that somebody smiles today. I'm out, y'all. Peace.